Well, good evening, good afternoon, or good something or other to all of you folks. Thank you for tuning in today to another edition of the Bill Crane Report with my friend Dwayne Weiss.
Hello, boys and girls.
And we are going to be talking about serious and not so serious things.
Yep.
What you got to kick it off, kiddo?
I think we'll start with the stupidity.
There's plenty of that going around.
You probably saw this in the paper. Man breaks into crocodile pen and gets bitten.
I didn't see
Folks,
that.
can you imagine breaking into a pit of crocodiles and then amazed that you got bit? They followed a blood trail to find him.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did this happen?
Florida.
Oh, well, there you are.
Now, do you suppose by some remote chance there was an adult beverage involved?
Or adult drugs.
Or adults?
Or both.
Yeah, one of them funny cigarettes or some adult beverages. Good God, he's lucky he didn't get eaten.
I'm telling you, God takes care of idiots sometimes.
Oh, you're not kidding. Authorities saw a blood trail leading to a nearby structure.
Isn't that lovely?
He got into the retention pond, actually went through barbed wire fences to get into there.
What? I wonder if you could ask him, what was he going to accomplish?
That was my next question.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when you get in the water with him?
Yeah.
Pet him? Yeah, right. Oh, well, but, it's nature has a way of eliminating the stupid.
Well, you like that one?
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned here. A professional dog walker in Stowe couldn't seem to catch a break. According to the police log entry, she was walking a client's dog on Maple Street when the pooch started running towards some alpacas and pulled her to the ground. After she dusted herself off, she got into her car and dropped the dog off at its house. Realizing she had lost her wallet and cell phone, she then drove back to the spot where she had fallen. She pulled into a driveway on Maple Street and began searching the ground for the missing items when a man came out the door and yelled at her for being in his driveway.
I know what
He allegedly threw a piece of firewood that hit her car, then got into her vehicle and moved it out of the driveway himself.
Yep.
The woman called 911 and police responded to the scene. The 39-year-old Maple Street resident was arrested on charges of assault with a dangerous weapon, defacing property, and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle.
Yep. All over what? Stopping in front of somebody's driveway.
Yep. Or she pulled into his driveway and then went to the lot next door. I mean, what harm was she doing to his driveway? I mean, what an idiot. But we have another one on the loose, too. Close readers of this column may recall that back in September, 2 residents of Bridgewater called police to complain they could hear strange noises outside of their homes, like someone bleating, "Ba, ba." Police searched for the suspect to no avail. Well, it appears the sheep impersonator has struck again. On October 28th, at 12:23 a.m., Bridgewater police received a 911 call from a resident of Union Street who reported that someone's been knocking on her window and making sheep noises. Police cruisers checked the area but had no luck finding the sheep impersonator. Now, there's a couple of guys that really could stand some looking at.
More than just looking at. But you got to wonder, why?
I don't know. I don't.
What is the thing with the sheep? What's the idea of the...
Who knows? They're going to have to catch him to find out what the devil he's up to. Jeepers creepers.
I can see a lot of, if you're going to pull a prank on somebody, not for sheep, though.
No.
I don't.
No, this is, well, the first guy was an idiot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the second guy's got some problems.
The first guy is the kind of guy that gets into these road rage things on the highway.
Absolutely.
Over nothing, and then they end up getting arrested or somebody hurt or something.
And who are you to be on my property?
That's
you got
right.
no right being on my property. Get off. People like that, they got problems.
Yeah.
But, one of the things, and I mentioned this once before, but this anti-Semitic problems is getting more and more prevalent. Anti-Semitic crimes on the rise in New York City. 22% increase over 2017 compared to the same period during 2017.
There's no question there's a lot of nuts out there.
Hate crimes continue to increase across the country. The hate crimes went from a rate in 2016 to a 17% increase in 2017 nationally. And this is from the FBI. Now, up in Reading, more than 30 incidents of racist anti-Semitic graffiti has been reported since May of 2017. Nearly every day, teachers at Reading Memorial High School scan their classrooms carefully, sweeping their eyes across floors and furniture in search of SWAT stickers.
Let me play the devil's advocate with that one. That I would almost willing to bet. It's not a secret society, the Ku Klux Klan hanging out there. They made a big fuss over the first one. And the kid says, hey, look at that. I would doodle those swastika. Look at that fuss they made. I got out of a history test.
Yeah.
And the other kid said, hey, you can do that. I'm going to do this. Pretty soon they were trying to outdo each other. The more publicity you give those kids like that, the more crap you're going to see.
The only reason I don't agree with you 100% is it's showing up all over the school.
That's why I think it is.
Yeah. Defacing bathroom stalls, stairwells, scrawled on bench legs, carved into railings around the high school. So this isn't one kid.
Oh, no.
It's sort of an organized mess.
Yeah, they're all doing it now because they're getting reactions from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why, look at the places it's showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where a kid goes, nobody's going to see me here, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, they brought in this lady, Mrs. Anna Ornstein, a Holocaust survivor, and she spoke about this. And it really doesn't say too awfully much about it. They've got no idea what they're doing, except that they're causing confusion,
getting a reaction,
and chaos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But this next one I really find bothersome. They have put notes threatening this 10-year-old Muslim girl with death.
Did you see the notes?
Yeah.
They're barely legible.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote them can't even print.
This is really sick. Mm-hmm. I mean, a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah, a little kid.
What in the devil has she done to deserve this?
Nothing, but,
She's a Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, I sincerely hope they grab this bozo. Yeah, but you know what? He'll go before a judge, and the judge will say, now, you've been a bad boy. No milk and cookies for a week. Yeah. And that's it. But they have every right in the world to make an example of whoever is doing this. Now, may well turn out the kid's got mental problems. I would guess
I
he
think
probably
by the
does.
printing, it looked very childish.
Yeah.
Unless, it might be a kid.
Unless he's bright enough to.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a kid. Yeah. It's school. Yeah, because it's happening at school.
Right.
Wow. What is up with all this hatred, Dwayne? Is it is this, a long time ago, a very smart guy said to me, profanity is an attempt by the dull to communicate.
Right.
Is that what this is? The dull crying out, saying, notice me, notice me?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt it is.
Yeah. So they shouldn't be looking for A students here.
No.
Yeah, that's my feeling too. I hope, as I say, I hope they get this kid.
Oh, they'll eventually. If it's a kid, you know what's going to happen.
Yep.
He can't keep this secret.
No.
He's got to brag about it.
Yeah.
He's going to tell this kid, that kid's going to tell somebody else, and somebody else is going to tell somebody else. The other third line down is going to go home and say, hey, Mom, you know what Johnny did? And Mom will call the school.
Yeah. But the pity of it is it's going to go to juvie court. No one's ever going to know anything at all about it. It'll be sealed. And there's some, that's probably the right thing to do. But there should be some punishment also for this kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there should be.
And I don't know. So tell me something. There's a big flap, changing the subject, he said.
Okay, well, it's all right. We go all over the place here.
There's a big flap at Under Armour Corporation.
I'm not aware of that.
Well, some of the top executives took either vendors or clients to strip clubs.
I don't know if I should say anything or not, because when I had customers I used to take out in entertainment. That's where they wanted to go. That's where we went.
I had a customer in Cleveland. I offered to take him to the Cavaliers. I offered to take him to the Cleveland Indians. I offered to take him to the best restaurant in town, blah, blah, because he was giving me a lot of money. Nope. The Crazy Horse Saloon.
Yeah.
That was it. So what am I going to do? Say, I don't want to do that. But what a guy does.
Today, I think it's different than when you or I were out there.
I know it was. Yeah. I know it is.
Today, everything is...
You're under a magnifying glass.
Under a magnifying. Everything has meaning. Everything has got an underlying cause. Everything has got something going with it.
Yep. Aren't they entitled to some privacy? No? No.
Not today. Not when you see something in the paper. The media does not respect privacy.
No.
Look at it. Just irritates me. Some tragedy will befall somebody, and you see that reporter from Channel 4 banging on the door.
Yeah.
Trying to get him to come out. How do you feel that your kids just got killed?
Yeah. Right.
You idiot.
I mean, that flap in the White House with that Acosta there from CNN. I mean, they seem to think they have a right to act ignorant.
That's right.
And get right in your face because it's freedom of the press. Well, freedom of the press has taken a couple of steps way too far.
This guy is not even liked by the fellow reporters out there because he doesn't wait his turn. When he does get a hold of the mic, he won't shut up. He takes everybody else's time. Now, suppose they get him back, let him come back, and he stands up and starts filibustering again. What are they going to do?
Permanently get rid of him.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. All I can say is, the press is so lucky to have President Trump because he gives them a press conference twice a week.
Yeah.
And he answered 63 questions at one impromptu helicopter trip there before he left on it. 63 questions over an hour. just batting out the answers. He answered every one of them. Obama had like 3 press conferences a year, and he would take 5 or 10 minutes on each question, just filibuster it to death.
And some of the other presidents, and Obama was one of them, if you, I shouldn't say misbehave, but if you were out of the norm and he didn't like what you were doing and he told you to stop, he didn't verbasta, he didn't go toe to toe with you. He had security just drag you out, that's all. But Trump will go man to man with you. He'll and I secretly believe, secretly, I think that the press likes that because look at what it does to the news. We got news now, otherwise it was boring.
Do you know, it's a lot like when you were kids. You'd tease a kid, and then he'd react and whack you, and, yeah, I got him, I got his goat, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He can't hit a curveball, and the kids start screaming. And well, police say 2 teenagers accused of slashing Christmas decorations set up in an Ohio neighborhood to help a child diagnosed with terminal cancer celebrate the holiday earlier have been arrested. Now, they don't say anything about the kids at all, but can you imagine doing something like that?
No, I
mean, how stupid can you...
We did a lot of stupid things as kids, but never mean or vile or destructive like that, you know.
I never heard of anything like that happening in Norfolk. The worst thing that I think ever happened in Norfolk is kids sometimes threw eggs at houses. Well, it was a pain in the butt cleaning that mess up afterwards, but nonetheless.
We were big with toilet paper. None of us had any money to buy any. We'd take it from home and then catch the dickens because where did the toilet paper go?
Oh, man. But to do something like that.
Yeah. My sister-in-law, one time in school, they were in the lunchroom, which was in the church basement, and she was a prankster. What they did was took some ketchup in somebody's shoes and put it on that, and somebody held somebody else up, and they made footprints across the ceiling in ketchup. Well, it was a parochial school, and it drove the nuns crazy. Who did that?
You know, I suppose the guy that had to paint the ceiling probably wasn't too happy, but...
First of all, how'd you get those footprints up there?
Kids had imagination.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Well, you know, we've been patting ourselves on the back here a little bit, and it's a serious subject, but drug deaths. And we've been patting ourselves on the back that, hey, we've turned the corner. They're starting to come down. Yeah, U.S. drug deaths hit new high last year. Mm-hmm. They're still going up.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, I don't know where this is going to end, I'll tell you.
Illegal drugs today are so risky to use because of, first of all, is because of fentanyl.
Fentanyl, that's right.
Fentanyl is a killer.
High test.
Yep. Fentanyl is great as an anesthetic. I had it the last time I had a colonoscopy, and it was perfect. It worked excellent. But out of the medical hands, it's dangerous, very dangerous.
You can't even touch it.
No, I know. It can get through your skin and everything.
Yeah. Nicotine is also bad.
Nicotine can be,
fatal. But this, so I guess what I'm saying is, folks, the opioid problem hasn't gone away.
No.
And I don't think we're getting quite the publicity we were getting about it. The headlines aren't there, but the numbers keep on going up. Preliminary figures show more than 72,000 people died in 2017 from drug overdoses across the country.
Yep. Well, there's another reason. Now, this is an unforeseen side effect of something that's good that's turning something bad, and that's Narcan.
Right.
Now the idea with some of these drug dealers or drug users is that, hey, what the hell? They got Narcan now. They'll just put something in my nose and I don't have to worry about this.
They were telling me that they've used Narcan on the same guy over and over.
3 or 4 times
Well, there was one, and I forget exactly where it was. And I'm not sure, I don't think it was Norfolk, but someplace in this territory. He brought the kid back 16 times.
Yeah,
17 was his unlucky number.
PD Live, they had one.
Yeah.
They said, this is the 3rd or 4th time this weekend that we've got this guy.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But you know, it's the same thing is happening. You know, there's HIV is on the rise again.
Yep.
Because the high-risk people say they can cure it now. Or they can control
it.
Oh, so I don't have to use condoms anymore.
Yeah,
I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
I can go back to my risky behavior.
Yeah, risky behavior, yeah. By the way, opioid-related overdoses, 42,000 in 2016, 49,000 in 2017.
Yeah,
so we're not whipping this problem. It's continuing to grow. And I haven't heard of anyone with a real problem, with a real solution, or even an idea how we're going to attack this problem.
They have limited the access, but they've just changed the approach. That's all. It's used to you could get Percocet or Oxycodone. You know, you could get them. When I broke ribs, first guy gave me in the emergency room. He gave me a prescription for 60. I went a week or so back to see my doctor, and she gave me another prescription for 60. I didn't need them. She says, "Here."
Could have become a drug dealer.
That's what I thought. Nobody wanted them then. There was Percocet, but still, it's an opiate.
That's right.
But now I understand you can only get 10 pills or something on it. That's all they can prescribe. But,
which is reasonable.
Yeah, because there are times you really need them. I mean, I broke 4 ribs on the right-hand side, right in a line. I thought I was going to die just from the pain, and you couldn't sit down, you couldn't stand up.
You can't do a damn thing for broken ribs.
No, they don't do anything for
it. There was a discussion where a group of radical folks decided they were going to blame Smith & Wesson for these gun deaths. And it's time we took action against Smith & Wesson. And this editorialist, gun makers are no more responsible for gun deaths than cell phone makers are for distracted driving deaths. 1 out of every 4 car accidents in the United States is caused by texting and driving.
Yep.
Does that mean Apple and Android are responsible? Should they be made to pay? Well, it seems to me what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If we're going to penalize Smith & Wesson, we ought to be penalizing Apple and...
But it's popular now.
It's the in thing. It's what us yuppies do and the smart people. Yeah, I know.
There was a letter in, I think it was the Chronicle the other day. The guy just had the answer. Well, we'll just ban all handguns and to have all of them turn them right in.
Yeah.
Well, that'll really work, won't it?
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Especially if you give them a $50 bounty or anything. They'll be stealing each other's worthless guns and bringing them in.
Yeah, when the buybacks, what the junk they get.
Yeah. He uses another example here about how cool and sophisticated we are now. But can we imagine a truck with a dead white-tailed deer strapped to the fender or the hood driving into your community? How many calls would the police get about that?
Oh, my God. I used to see that from...
All the time.
All the time. Everybody, sometimes one on each fender.
Everybody around here used to deer hunt. Yeah. A lot of guys went to Maine. They'd come back with a couple of deer. Remember when we had those big fenders on the front?
That's right. Tie them over the fender.
They were designed for putting deer on.
Stop and get a beer, and people come out and see how big a deer you got, how many points it was.
How big is that rascal? Yep. Yeah. And that was a, boy, oh boy, that was a big plus beside your name if you come back with a couple of deer.
It still is in some parts of the country.
Yeah, I know
but now they got pickups. They don't have to stack them on the hood
anymore. Put them in the back.
Yeah, they're just in the back.
Speaking of idiots, guy got on a train in Salem and started bothering people, intimidating passengers, drinking alcohol, tried to start fights, pulled a knife on somebody. He was finally arrested and charged with assault and possession of Class E drugs, and $5,000 cash bail was imposed on him. And I wonder what's going to happen to him on November 30th when he has his get-together with the judge. Oh. I know what'll happen.
Yeah.
You've been bad.
Naughty, naughty.
Mr. Leclerc.
Yep. Well, I see that the hub of the universe there, Boston, and their infinite wisdom are considering making the Citgo sign a landmark.
Ah, yes, indeed.
And here you see 3 million Venezuelans have fled the country so far. That country and that leader.
Hugo Chavez.
Worst dictator.
It's not him
not anymore.
Gone,
it's what's his name? I forgot. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. But he is the worst dictator in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
And that's his company.
Yeah.
It's not some fly-by-night. That's the national oil company of Venezuela. Is Citgo.
So we're going to make that a national landmark.
Yeah.
But we are obsessed with this idea that Faneuil Hall has got to have the name changed.
Oh, we had to change Yawkey Way.
Yeah, in Yawkey Way.
Holy cow! And the owner of the Red Sox, he's right up there.
John Henry, I can't sleep. I'm haunted.
Why isn't he hounding about that Citgo sign? But he's for it.
I tell you.
It makes
he funds
no
the
sense.
Red Sox, and the Red Sox are a lot of fun to watch, but I certainly don't like John Henry.
I don't either.
Not my guy. By the way, if you're planning on taking any trips, I'm not sure that Japan Airlines is the one I would fly.
Oh, yeah, what now? Oh, I think I know.
Yeah, there's a pilot.
Dipping a little sake before the flight, wasn't
he had 2 bottles of wine and then a pitcher of beer before he got on the plane. And of course, here in Massachusetts, you're drunk if you got 0.08.
Yep.
He's a pilot. He's allowed a trace of alcohol in his blood.
Yeah,
he had 0.189.
Bill, don't you suppose he might be afraid of flying?
2.5 times illegal.
Yeah, I know it.
Good Lord. Now they caught him and everything. But what kind of a guy would do something like that?
Yeah.
I hope he has a good job now in a Japanese restaurant as a cleanup cook.
I know a guy that was a commercial pilot. He probably still is, but maybe not, because I'm in my mid-70s. He's got to be the same thing. He's retired by now.
Yeah.
But he was not with one of the big airlines, but it was I guess we call it a commuter airline.
Puddle jumpers,
yeah. They did 30-passenger type, twin-engine turboprop stuff. But they had a rule, and all the airlines do. It's 24 hours bottle of throttle. Like if we were out going to his place or he come to our place, he wouldn't even have a beer if he was going to fly the next day.
Right.
No, he says, I got 24 hours, I can't touch even one beer. So
that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got 30 lives that you have to take care of. FBI warns that terrorists using drones pose an escalating threat in the U.S.
What do you think about thought about that before. You see a football game, and there's 60, 70,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I know what you're going to say.
Some guys, you come in with your car into the parking lot, you open up the thing, and you got this drone in there about this big, loaded with some kind of explosive. There's nothing to start that thing up and fly it up over the thing into the... How easy would that be?
Drones? Man, I don't know. But all I know is that they don't apparently feel the drones are a real problem, because registering them and owning them and all of that, it's kind of, it's wide open, you know?
Yeah, of course.
There's not too many restrictions on them. And for some guy that pops it around his neighborhood trying to catch the kid that's throwing the snowballs, or I don't know, look for his cat or something.
Or just to fly one, I mean.
Yeah, just for the heck of it. But boy, I'll tell you, there are a lot of things that these drones could be doing that are not good.
Oh, you bet. And they can easily carry out any kind of explosive.
Oh, yeah. With the little plastic stuff?
Yeah.
Man, they could make one hell of a bomb.
And some of those commercial drones got a pretty good lift.
Yes, they do. Yeah. And there's some pretty big drones that could do one heck of a lot of damage. I hope we're on top of it, but I don't think we are.
Even terrorism, though, if the terrible fires in California, could you imagine what half a dozen terrorists could have done? They would be more successful doing what happened to California naturally. They could have an act of terrorism that would be terrible. I mean, horrible. And if people knew that they were out there setting them deliberately, they would be terrorists. They would send a wave of terror through that population.
Can you imagine the chaos and damage they can cause by lighting a fire in California versus a bucket of bolts at the marathon? But the bucket of bolts was on TV.
That's right.
It was a terrorist act. People panicked. Oh my God, it was a terrible thing. But the fire, could have been lightning.
Suppose these guys set 30 fires at the same time. You couldn't control them. There wouldn't be enough resources to do anything. And then come out and say, yeah, we did it.
Yeah. Then you'd get copycats, and then you would have your hands full.
You bet.
Oof. 13-year-old boy. They're growing up fast these days in Noblesville, Indiana. He found the keys to the basement safe in his family's home, unlocked it, removed 2 handguns, brought them to the West Middle School in Indianapolis, or Noblesville, and shot a teacher and a classmate.
Yep.
Seems to me that, like it or not, you got to blame the parents here for leaving the keys hanging around.
Yeah. And I don't know. I can't say, because we don't know, but generally there is some indication with some of these kids. But today, the teacher cannot separate him out, cannot isolate him, cannot bring attention to him. He has to be mainstreamed with the class. He's got to be. Everything is so different. We cannot protect the mass for the one.
But you're right that there's got to be some tip-offs, and shame on the parents.
Yep. Oh yeah.
For not doing something about it. Mm-hmm. Wow. Although, I mean, what parent is going to think that their son's going to bring out a couple of pistols and pretend he's a Wild West cowboy here? And then we have a Arizona boy who his grandmother told him to clean his room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he got a pistol, shot her in the back of the head, and then killed himself. 11 years old.
Yeah, it's hard for us to understand sitting here.
This is going to be a copycat thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I shot the person that was bugging me, and now I've turned the gun on myself like the terrorists that shoot up dance halls or something like that. When they're caught, that's what they do. And I think he's probably mimicking that. I don't know.
Sometimes I think these people, these particular kids, will shoot somebody not knowing that it's real.
I know it.
Between video games or what they see on TV.
What happens with the video game? You track down these guys, you shoot them all, and then the game's over, turn the game back on, they're all back alive again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's no permanence to it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. German nurse suspected of killing 6 elderly patients and attempting to kill 9 more. He wanted to do this because he sought out vulnerable patients in order to steal their belongings. When he failed to find valuables, he would quit his job and seek a new position somewhere else. He had like 60-something jobs. He'd kill a couple of people and then go to another job. And he'd be looking for people that had valuables with them. When he finally found them, he'd kill them, take the valuables, quit the job, and go someplace else.
Total psychopath.
But hospitals kept hiring him.
That's right.
Yumpin' Yemeni. Yeah. Worked for various Polish and Slovakia-based temp agencies in at least 68 locations across Germany since 2015. How the heck does... I don't know. Well, here's something. I'm sure you'll be interested in this.
Okay.
Paul McCartney believes he saw God while he was on a trip.
I did see that in the paper.
Yep. He was humbled by the experience.
Well, I bet he was. Huh?
Yep.
I think a lot of that industry personnel see a lot of things.
Yeah. And he thinks the drugs helped him.
Oh, yeah.
The hallucination. But he's convinced, and he sees his late wife, Linda, looking down on him, too. Paul's getting a little shaky, don't you?
I do, too. I think so.
You know, sometimes I remember things from being a kid and old sayings and stuff like that. 23 Skidoo. Do you remember that one?
I remember. I have no idea what it meant.
Neither did I. So I looked it up on the internet to find out.
Well, what is it?
In New York City, bums would sleep on 23rd Street, on benches or in doorways or whatever. And I think that's part of the Bowery. Yeah, and the cops would come along with their nightsticks and whack them on the feet and say, "Skidoo!"
I have no idea what 23 Skidoo. Everybody's heard of it. I don't think any. I bet you 1 out of 500 people could have told you what it was.
I'll bet you there's some discerning people now that know.
See? You learn something by watching this.
But just between you, me, and the lamppost, I cannot find where anyone claims they know how that started.
I don't know.
So I only got half my job done. Well, something interesting happened during this election cycle, not the least of which was Deal defeated Warren here in Norfolk. 2,617 to 2,419. Great showing, and I think that he'll probably run for office again.
I think he will too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, the reason he didn't do as well as might be expected is the Republican Party in this state is just totally inept.
Yeah, there's nobody.
No.
There's no bodies, no leadership, nothing.
Nothing, you know. I tried my damnedest to get some Deal signs.
I did too.
Yeah.
I live on 115. I think there's 10,000 cars a day roll that by my house.
Yep. And I went through the locals here in Norfolk, and I got one sign.
Yep.
I had a woman in Rentham that could have used 4 signs in her neighborhood. I couldn't get anything for her. I tried to get a copy. She came and she took mine.
Signed sealer.
Yeah, I tried to get some more. Oh. No, nothing. I couldn't even get an answer out of them.
Oh, I know. Well, did you see the Brockton VFW nursing home in today's Globe got rated one of the worst in the country?
Yes, and it's in here, and it is tragic.
Here, what really irritated me, when they contacted our senators, Mr. Malarkey and Pocahontas, still Pocahontas.
Yeah.
She said, well, isn't that terrible? Well, what are you going to, nothing, I'm going to do anything. Well, isn't that terrible?
You know, I don't know who it was, but I heard tell of one politician that was asked a question very similar to that, and the answer was, well, he shouldn't have gone in the Army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just...
You know, we talked about the nursing staff levels.
Yep.
Norfolk, yes, 1,338. No, 3,873. 3-1.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you know, once you got to examine the facts and figured it out, that this was a whole deal done by the union.
It was a union.
New members, get more members in the fold. It became apparent to you that the argument didn't hold water.
Well, first of all, it was a union-powered question. We're very self-serving in a lot of areas. But the legislation itself was so poorly written and poorly thought out, it had no chance of having any value.
Do you know what they were thinking? Everybody will embrace this.
Oh, just
everybody, and nobody will even think twice about it. Well,
what would they give? 8 weeks or something to implement?
Yeah.
Then they needed as many as 3,000 nurses.
Yeah.
Where are you going to find 3,000 nurses in 8 weeks?
You know where? From nursing homes.
Nursing home, you're going to steal all the other...
You're going to steal them, and you also the homes for the elderly that have to have staffing.
I think California is the only other state in the country that has something like it.
Yep.
And they gave them 4 years to implement it.
Yeah, that's insane.
And then they're not rigid. It's not exactly, you must have this ratio.
You must be working in this direction, and hard to believe. By the way, Governor Baker won here 4,042 to 1,104 for the Democratic pretender. That's 4-1, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, right.
And that's an imposing number. I've got to believe, even though Baker says, I'm not interested in anything else except doing a good job for the next 4 years.
That was my next question for you.
Yeah. You know, Markey is up in 2022.
Yep.
He's just, he's there. That's about all you can say.
That's all you can say for him.
Yeah. There's nothing to him.
Nope.
I would love to see Baker take a shot at him.
I think he'd have a legitimate chance at it. Even though
I think so too, and I don't think he has to resign the governorship to do it. After he's elected, obviously. And then he lets Polito step up, you know? Jobless rate stays at 49-year low, and wages are up. And to that story, they polled small companies, I think it was Dow Jones did it, and asked them the problems that they were having in growing and all of that. 88% of small companies polled reported getting few or no qualified applicants for their job openings.
That's a real problem today.
It sure is. That's sort of almost getting like hoisted on your own petard.
Yep.
We've built a fire under the economy. Yep, it's roaring, and now nobody's here to watch the fire.
Because when your unemployment rate goes down, it can only go so far.
That's right.
At some point, say at 4% or 3.8 or someplace in that area, what's left are not employable or don't want to be employed.
Or don't want to be employed.
Yeah. So you just can't break that. That's a ceiling, or a low ceiling that you can't penetrate.
You can't get below. I didn't think they could get down to 3.9.
I didn't either.
No.
I thought
5 was always the magic number.
That was the magic number.
Yeah. Now, what's going on out in Wisconsin? 2 stories. Driver who struck Wisconsin Girl Scouts.
Oh, the kids picking up garbage.
Was inhaling vapors behind the wheel. He was huffing.
Huffing, that's the word I was trying to think of.
Killed 3 Girl Scouts and a mother, and critically injured a 4th girl along a rural Wisconsin highway in Lake Hallie.
Right outside Chippewa Falls.
Yeah, it was in Chippewa County.
Yep.
He's 4 counts of intoxicated use of a motor vehicle and $250,000 bond. 4 counts of vehicular homicide here someplace, I think. Anyway, what a terrible, terrible tragedy.
Yeah, it is. It's awful.
Awful.
That's they've had so much problem with some of those areas there.
Yep.
And it goes back a long ways. It goes.
Yeah.
Remember the deer hunters that got killed? The guy took over the stand and shot the landowner and stuff. It's all that. It's in the same group.
Yeah. Also in Barron, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I know where that is too.
A couple was shot dead, and their 13-year-old daughter is missing. Yeah.
They say not. Well, there's no evidence of
there's
anything,
no evidence, period.
Nothing. But I believe if I was a detective, what I would look for, and they may or may not be, is that she had met somebody online. They said, come on, we're going to run away together. Parents may or may not gotten away. Kaboom, bang, she's gone.
Yeah, he might have showed up at the door and said, I'm here for Jamie. Yeah. And they said,
the old man said, the hell you are.
Yeah. And boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it could be some kind of a pervert, too.
That's possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, but this is a little corner of the world.
Yeah, and it's very where Barron is. That's sparsely populated too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, things like that aren't supposed to happen out there.
No, but it does.
Yeah. Oh, of course it does. Yeah. Oh. But this is supposed to be the quiet and peaceful area. Ah, man, that's terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. Well, I like this. Parent. The waves were mistaken for the Nazi salute.
Oh, my God. I actually laughed.
And this happened in Wisconsin, too.
Yeah, what was that? Madison?
Milwaukee, it says here.
Yeah, it's...
But, Baraboo.
Oh, that's north. That's about 100 miles north. In fact, that's the winter home for used to be Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where they that's where they wintered.
And they were taking a picture, and they said to the kids, wave, and someone said, look at them.
They got their hands up.
Yeah, the Nazi salute.
Well, you don't wave like this, you know.
No, it's like this, you know. And somebody said, oh, they're Nazis.
And the photographer comes out and says, wait a minute, I was taking that picture for the prom or something.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolute insanity.
It is. It is nuts.
But yet, here we have Tucker Carlson.
Yep.
These people come to his house. His wife has to hide. They're threatening. They're yelling. They're doing all kinds of things when he's not home. That's Nazi tactics.
That is more Nazi-like than when they accuse somebody of being a Nazi.
Mobs coming to the houses and banging on doors and all that. That's how Nazi Germany worked, folks. Not by lining kids up and telling them to wave and take their picture. it's doing things like that to Tucker Carlson's family. There is a very, very interesting long editorial, which I'm not going to read. However, if you recall, Uncle Willie, right here, has long favored nuclear power. Clean, safe, non-polluting, blah, blah, blah. Big editorial in the Globe after the election. Say yes, nuclear power.
That's a shocker for that paper.
And it's absolutely unbelievable. Now they're saying if we shut down nuclear power plants, we have put a tremendous amount of non-emitting electricity at risk, and the potential to lose those resources could undo the nation's recent progress in reducing its greenhouse gas emissions.
Yep.
So, the Globe has come around to my way of thinking.
Yep.
I even wrote articles about that for when I was writing for the...
You know,
yeah.
Just to lighten up a little bit. But
all right, that's a good idea.
Just to be curious, pilots saw UFOs over Ireland, and it made the paper.
Okay.
This is unusual for one big reason. Most pilots do see things, but they will not say anything.
That's right.
Because immediately they're under a suspect.
And then all kinds of background checks and all kinds of
mental stability checks, etc.
That's right.
Well, not only, and it was a lady, a woman pilot. She's just as capable as anybody else, but don't give the idea that she was hysterical, because she saw him. She was a British Airways pilot, flying from Montreal to Ireland, but also it was confirmed by a Virgin Airlines pilot. And other pilots in the area also saw the same thing.
Wow.
So what it is, you tell me. But they were not afraid. This woman was not afraid to come up and say, I know what I saw, you know.
There was a Harvard professor.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
That's
with that long asteroidal kind of thing. And he said that could very well be from another galaxy.
Yep. Like, what do you call it? Like a solar sail.
Yeah, solar sail.
Solar
right.
sail. Yep.
That would the sun would power it.
Yep.
Through galaxies. I guess it's going to go into our sun now.
Yeah. Eventually it will.
Yeah, it's going to get pulled in there.
And one other thing, Christmas trees. Christmas tree growers are going to have a good year. They expect to be up 17%. Do you know why? Because the millennials now are buying natural trees over the plastic ones.
Wow.
Here's the dilemma. I mean, this is like being hooked on the horns of a dilemma. What do trees do? They absorb CO2. Who's always whining our carbon count so high? And the millennials now are going to chop down trees? What is this world coming to?
The millennials in this town are chopping down trees, I'll tell you. Boy, this place is going to look like Kansas.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Anytime now.
Any place that they can put a house in,
that's right,
in it.
Yeah. If they could invent a way to put a house on top of a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be doing it. This, where did the foxes go? And, there's a bear in our yard.
Yeah,
well, you know what? You can't find food anyplace.
That's right.
Where did the bears go to hibernate? Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
We cut down all the woods and, down with up. I guess we'll end up here with Governor Marty Walsh. he appointed this fellow, Carlos Henriquez, who attacked this woman in the back seat of his car demanding
she wouldn't
sex.
Have sex with him.
Yep. He gets sentenced to prison.
Yeah, he did. He got
kicked
out of the legislature.
Yep, kicked out of the legislature. And Marty Walsh appointed him to some board at $60-something thousand a year, and then wouldn't listen to anybody else, wasn't going to listen to any complaints.
Yep.
And then the complaints got louder and louder, and Henriquez resigned.
Yeah, well, that kind of resignation.
That's right. That's out the door. Served 6 months in prison for his conviction for punching a woman who refused to have sex with him.
And did you see the job that he got?
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I said $60,000, he got a job that paid $89,000.
Plus, the job was anti-violence or anti. It was just exactly what he did.
Special assistant for community engagement, working on anti-violence. Yeah,
go figure, folks.
You can't make this stuff up.
Between that and the Citgo sign, we got one Looney Tune town here.
I got to tell you, Marty is actually being mentioned possibly as someone who will enter the fray, too, in the next senatorial go-round.
Scary.
It's scary is right. Marty is...
Yep. Okay.
He is a piece of work.
That for sure.
Friends, we have come to the end of this chapter. But in 2 weeks, there'll be a new chapter unrolled for your listening and dancing pleasure.
By that time, you have all enjoyed Thanksgiving. I hope you had a good time with your family and friends.
Yep. And
be thankful.
Had lots of turkey.
Yep.
And be thankful. We make a lot ado about a lot of the things that go on in this country. But be thankful you live here. It's the greatest place on earth. And let's make it even better.
Take care.
Take care, folks. Bingo.